Before you go, just so that everybody knows, maybe I should just, I don't want people sitting here in the dark. We've recommended that at least 100 units be set aside for 202 housing for seniors and for people on disability. And of the rest, we've recommended that 60% of the units would be 40% AMI, 20% of the units would be 50% AMI, 20% would be 60 AMI, and that would be the highest it would go. That's what our recommendation is. Okay. Just so you all, I realize we don't have enough of these to give out to everyone, but I'm not trying to keep anybody in the dark. Okay, please continue.
Sure. You asked about the cost of amenities, including parking, about making it available for residents at the affordable units at a discounted rate. I think the main amenity that the project will be creating is the waterfront access. And that's an obligation, which is certainly part of zoning. We're building more than we need to, but it's certainly part of zoning. But the way I just wanted to, that is something that will be free to the affordable units in a way that's different than the market rate. What will happen is that the project is responsible.
Thank you for making it free.
Thank you.
Wait.
The project is responsible as a whole, which means the market rate is responsible for building out the open space. It will then be turned over to the city, and the city will maintain it, but it will be paid for by the market rate units on the project. So the market rate units will be financing on an ongoing basis the open space, and the affordable units will not be charged for that cost of maintaining the project as a whole. I see here that you've asked about discounts for parking. We are hoping that we can provide a limited amount of parking for the units, but we haven't, and again, this is the first time that we've seen this. We have to consider whether or not we can look at that from a discounted standpoint. But the intention is to create a project where, again, the main asset is one that will be free to the affordable units in a way that will the market rate, and certainly the amenities within the affordable projects will be available.
Are there amenities that would not be equally available to the affordable units?
It's not planned to that way. I mean, again, there are
pools, recreation.
This is a project where, there are a number of buildings that will be on this site. And so the individual buildings will have, what is in their building. So if there is a building down here that has a gym, the expectation is that these are the people that would be using the gym. So it will depend on the building. So if there's an 80-20 building, which we expect that there will be, the amenities that are part of that 80-20 project will be available to the affordable within the.
Can I ask a question about the open space?
If you are on the board, she's on the board.
You had said that the parks and open spaces, the promenade would become available as the market rate building.
Yeah.
That's where the funding's going to come from. Does that mean that the timetable is as the apartments sell, then it gets built?
No. The way that it works is, and thank you for asking for this clarification. No, so let's say our thought is that this project here, this is the land project, that there will be a project that includes market rate units on this site. So before the first market rate unit gets its certificate of appropriateness, certificate of occupancy, the area around it, the open space, has to be signed off by city planning and the Parks Department as being substantially complete and open to the public. So there is a tie between the market rate development and the open space, but it's the first unit which is tied to the open space, not the last one.
I think you also had a question with respect to the funding of the parks and how that would be
Which is the
managed.
transparency of the selling of Lot 52. It's the transparency transparency of both what the sale price would be, and then also whether the funds right now, as far as I understand, they're to come back to the general fund of the city. We think in the community, it should come back to the community and specifically to the building of the parks.
So I'll say what I can say as here for the developer. Jack Hammer's actually here and can talk a little bit about the process in terms of the final approval of the disposition, which is, what the developer is doing, and I think most of the people on the community board know, is that as part of the sale of this land, lot 32, we are going to enter into a funding agreement with the city for a contribution of $2.5 million to the enlargement and expansion of the Newtown Barge Park. I think the city has about $4.5 million of its own, so there's a $7 million pool for that particular amount. And then again, for the property that we're doing here, we're going to add about 28,000 square feet of additional open space on that, which we priced that at a couple of $1 million, I think it is, this one. So that's where it is today in terms of the purchase price, and going back to the community. I'd be happy if that were the case, but that's a discussion with Jack. And I think, Jack, you want to talk about sort of the business terms in that process a little bit?